Previously on Movie Flaws and Aws, Train to Busan, The Boondock Saints, Bone Tomahawk, and Krampus.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do. And people are starting to notice.
This Warner Brothers logo is from the 1970s, also used with Enter the Dragon in 73, Exorcist 2 in 77, and Superman 78. The intro here is perfectly subtle. It's intimate and disturbing, plus it's setting up a scene to come at the end which beautifully bookends this story. Credits over imagery is a no. Solid introduction to a part of Gotham, coating it in realism. Having Arthur work as a clown directly bleeds into the events, and the movie simply doesn't work without it. It's small, but it's a cool little stunt. The beating here is great, not just visually either. It connects to so much of the story moving forward. It shows the cruelty of Gotham, Arthur's bad days. A co-worker gives him a gun, which leads to him being fired, the subway murders, the live show murder, and so on. Yo, this score is just the way I love them. Haunting. Yet hinting at something rising up to the surface. Amazingly created and used, not just here, but multiple times throughout the movie. His laugh condition is shown without explanation first, leaving the viewers creeped out, uncomfortable, and most importantly, judgmental. Remember the sadness and the pain in his face as and after he laughs. This is set up for a scene to come later on that'll make you appreciate this moment even more. Just wait, we'll get to it. Solid performances from both actors. The Notebook is utilized to peek inside Arthur's mind, getting an intimate glimpse of something disturbing. Slick camera work, but again, remember this moment. Remember the sadness. We'll be adding on to this as we go on. Now, a kid looks sad and Arthur's first instinct is to cheer him up. It adds complexity and layers to the character. Now we get the card explaining his condition. And for those of us that previously judged him, we feel bad that we did. And focus on his struggle to stop the laughter here. It's all Arthur, setting up his transition to come. Yo, she didn't even give him his card back. The first time we see the steps, Arthur walks up them, which symbolically is something that's supposed to be positive, a level to measure success. However, he's sad, shoulders slumped. This is set up for a payoff later. Arthur and his mother sit down to watch their favorite TV show, and the scene expertly transitions while also telling you boldly to pay attention. This is a huge hint for what's coming as they reveal Arthur sitting in the audience. Casting Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin was a great touch. Movie fans will appreciate the homage and connections to King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. This daydream sets up what'll be a big reveal later on, but it doesn't play stupid for the audience. Some will notice Arthur's confidence and swagger is on full display.
I'd give it all up in a heartbeat to have a kid like you.
That's creepy. Yo, I'd give him 2 weeks vacation and a raise if he stopped looking at me like that. Hell, you're part owner. Just never look at me like that again. The girl next door, Sophie's setup, is executed fine. Arthur is odd, but he's not overly so, which would overplay their hand at holding back a reveal for later.
Don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?
Ouch, that's coming from your mama. The dancing and the gun, two vital parts to this story. Stalking Sophie is connected to the plot in the sense that it leads to the delusion. The girlfriend angle is the only aspect of the movie that I don't have much connection to. Since it's very sharp and it's over and done with, I feel that helps to not drag down the story, especially for those of us who aren't really that much into it. Arthur's laugh, out of sync with the audience, nicely showcases he's out of sync with society. On his notepad it reads, "Slick hair, question mark, question mark, question mark," which he does more frequently from here on out. It's easy to miss the first time, but Arthur is more relaxed and confident while talking to Sophie. And even more noticeable, but also still nicely done, is how Sophie compliments Arthur.
You're so funny, Arthur.
It's a big hint being so similar to Murray Franklin being so accepting of him back in his daydream.
I'd give it all up in a heartbeat to have a kid like you.
To keep most viewers sympathetic to Arthur, it's important he doesn't get fired for just being shitty. He was doing well dancing for sick children, making them smile, but he's also worried about getting jumped again. Like the bus scene from earlier, we are watching Arthur from the outside looking in. Again, remember the sadness here. There's something powerful we're gonna add to this coming up. His beating now mirrors his beating from before, except now Arthur got a gun. Here's a point for cool-ass gun violence in movies. Arthur is driven, almost possessed, locked onto a target. It's sloppy, but it's as if he's drawn to him, finishing the last kill. After the final gunshot, the sound design gets major props here. The realistic echo leads us in with the ringing, sliding the viewer into Arthur's point of view, ear-wise. He flees into the bathroom and we get one of the most simple yet captivating moments. Accompanying the beautifully haunting score is Arthur dancing to calm his previously frantic and scared state. Forget character development. This is character emergence. The Joker has officially started to rise to the surface, staring back at Arthur in the mirror. With confidence, he goes to Sophie's apartment and she opens the second he knocks. It's another subtle hint out in the open that lets us know this part isn't real. He leaves after cleaning out his locker, but his spirits are slightly lifted from the rush of his crime. With subtle foreshadowing, he dances on the way down the stairs.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed, but I do. And people are starting to notice.
Right away after the crime, he sees what he did ripple throughout the community, and he likes it.
Most guys we look at sex like parking a car, we're like, there's a spot.
It's in the background, but it's funny.
Handicapped. Hope no one sees this.
And true. The reason this performance is so mesmerizing and immersive is because of how eerily organic it comes off. Hey, little Bruce Wayne going down the Playhouse pole is a cute little Easter egg for old school Batman fans.
That's creepy.
Yo, he's legit so happy at first. Both performances here are tight. If you're a fan of the unreliable narrative theory, which it has a few variations, here's something for you. Arthur watches a TV of an event and it transitions to him there. And then after Thomas Wayne punches him in the mouth, he leans on the sink and immediately it transitions back home and he's in the same pose. Now, for those that enjoy these type of theories, I don't know what they do for you, but I'm gonna give it a shout out here just to mention it. It's here if that's what you're into. I personally loathe the idea that these events are made up, because what fun is watching a scene that didn't carry any weight because it didn't happen just to have a twist? No thanks. Arthur is for real playing with himself in the background. I wonder if that was in the script or if that was improv. Yo, his performance, oh wow. The reveal that it was all in his head, it was done well. And that's coming from somebody who wasn't really thrilled about that small portion of the movie. Atmosphere and performance. I don't mean to be cold, but the way her head falls gave me a laugh. He fucking Tony Soprano's his mother.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a fucking comedy.
Hey, it's the dude from Leftovers. You want a good TV recommendation? Here's one. Fucking great, but good luck understanding anything. It's great, but it's a mindfuck. He made a curtain to practice. Not 100% comfortable, he mimics the guest. There's still more Arthur than Joker. The sound design here is fun. The TV sound fades out and the audience sound now matches with what Arthur is doing. It's slowly fading in his instability into the moment for the viewers to experience. The suicide rehearsal sets the viewers' expectations up. This is planting the seed of what could happen in our minds. It's a plant so they can subvert our expectations later. Man, he looks the creepiest like this. Honestly, with all the whining from the clueless masses about the violence, these kills are pretty damn tame. Still a solid kill, with a good amount of blood spraying out of his neck. With that said, I would have liked some more blood and gore, to be honest. Maybe one day we'll get a truly vicious, violent, and bloody Joker representation. One can only hope. After he kills Randall, there's a successfully suspenseful scene, leaving us to wonder if he'll kill Gary. He makes it to the door, but he can't reach the lock. This is adding on and building up this moment even more until...
You were the only one that was ever nice to me. Yeah.
Fully the Joker on the outside, but there's still a little bit of Arthur left on the inside. Going down symbolically is seen as a negative, a bad thing. Down and out, going down, and so on. Here we have Arthur dancing down the stairs. His emotions and spirits at an all-time high, compared to previously when he was walking up the stairs with his emotions and spirit at an all-time low. He's now fully embracing how out of sync he is with civilized society. Real quick though, the editor has the Joker smoking a cigarette after he tosses it. Come on, there's barely any flaws. I gotta pick something. The chase scene has such an old school, mischievous Joker vibe to it. Whether it's silly or dark and dangerous, it fits. Ouch, that hit. Felt it in my bones. Here's one for the stuntman. I love this little scene with these three. It's like a little tease to what's coming.
Can you introduce me as Joker? That's what you called me on the show. A Joker. Do you remember?
And you know, Joker is. It's good.
Take notes, Han Solo. This is how you do a name origin. Smooth. Adding on to that seed they planted. Just like when he slowly danced after killing the three guys on the subway, Joker slowly begins to dance backstage. It grounds him, bringing Joker to the surface even more now than ever before. The workers are looking at him like he's nuts, and oh how right they are. I didn't even notice this, but my daughter just pointed out that the guy reaches under the curtain and takes the cigarette once the Joker tosses it. I never even noticed that little bit. Maybe y'all did, but I didn't notice it, and I don't know why, but it gave me a chuckle. So I want to share that. Moving on. Unlike when he practiced his entrance, where he just mimicked another guest, this is all Joker. The confidence he mastered in his delusional life now bleeds over into the real world.
This is exactly how I imagined it.
Well, that makes one of us.
There's just so much packed into this moment, and it's all fire. From the visuals to the pacing, dialogue to playfulness and tension, the performances, the way the score builds up. I fucking love this whole scene, and Murray's final exit is tough.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Afterwards, there's a clever transition to news reports. We pan back, seeing numerous monitors giving us the feel of the growing scope, which is important to the story flow because these news reports are connected to the mob coming up, which are also shown on a few monitors. And if you missed it, one monitor shows the Joker saying, "That's life." And he laughs, which is arguably an Easter egg for the Dark Knight's Joker.
You see, Gotham is burning.
With a reporter confirming he was taken into custody. It's in pieces, but it's expertly crafted to keep the story flow flawless. Leading in with a killer song and a patrol car containing the Joker, we get one of the most clever payoffs that I fucking love. Remember previously when I told you about Arthur staring out the bus and seeing nothing for him out there in Gotham? Then he stared out the subway window and again he sees nothing out there for him. And now He stares out the patrol car window and he sees something. Just like those crazy little notes scribbled in his notebook, he sees Gotham and they see him. Joker finally has what he's always searched for. He does exist, and people have noticed.
Isn't it beautiful?
The Joker character is a pop culture icon, and even though the story here doesn't call for the Joker to have goons and followers, it's vital to show how he could gain them. Having the clown mask wearing rioters crash the police car not only holds true to the many representations of the Joker character busting out of lockup, but it shows how this Joker could become very dangerous, gaining a small army of loyal followers. On the flip side, the story of young Bruce Wayne fits seamlessly along the rioting. Once we see them exiting the theater, we know this is it. This is that fateful night that changes everything for young Bruce. Ducking down an alleyway, away from the violence of the riots, fits far better than most versions, where the super rich Waynes just randomly go down a dark alley. Having the killer wear the mask of a clown and using Joker's motto, "Before the murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne," seals the Joker and Batman as ferocious enemies without even having to showcase those future events. Joker wakes up to a crowd of supporting rioters, and the score here especially, it charges the moment that gave me chills in the theater. We started this journey with Arthur, and we end with Joker. Each time the Joker surfaces more and more, we see Arthur dancing, and now is no different. This dance, among the wreckage of Gotham City, surrounded by all the have-nots that confirmed his existence and celebrate his madness, this moment is the final transformation. Arthur is gone completely, and only the Joker remains. Using his own fresh blood, he puts on a happy face. This connects to the intro, a bookend for his journey. When we began, he was violently forcing an artificial smile on his face, and now his smile is all authentic. In a scene that perfectly mirrors a previous one, filmed very similar, close up, Arthur's laughing and he's with a social worker, and we see the difference between the previously sad and lost Arthur and now with the upbeat and accepting Joker. This moment has a few ambiguous meanings. Most I love, minus the "it's all in his head" crap. I can't believe the amount of fans that want a twist where nothing actually happens. And no, I'm not giving any points for that theory. However, one solid fact is the irony in the events. The creation of the Joker led to the events that will eventually create the Batman. The one man that'll stop him. This Joker was both created and will eventually be destroyed by his own madness. The joke he laughs about is up for interpretation. Considering his dark and twisted mind, I took this moment to mean Arthur started out with nothing and he ended up happy with everything he wanted, and little Bruce Wayne started out with everything he could possibly want, and now his world is crushed. This dark humor would connect with his drunk driver kills son joke from the Murray Franklin show. And I do want to be clear, outside of the theories that it was all in his head and he was really locked up the entire time, which, again, I hate, because it means nothing happened. Outside of that kind of theory, I stayed away from other people's analysis of what the ending means, just because I think this movie is special. I didn't want others' opinions to seep into what I thought of it. Not yet. I thought it was hilarious. At first, I thought it was a Martin Scorsese Easter egg with the rats in the background. Behind little Bruce in the alleyway, you can see the giant super rats. The ending could literally be him laughing about the super rats behind little Bruce Wayne, because he didn't see it. He didn't commit the murder. He wasn't there for the murder. He just read about it afterwards in the thing, so he's just thinking back, visualizing what it would be like. You get what I'm saying? And I just think it's like, okay, you run with your own little interpretation of what this ending could be. I have a few things that I giggle at. I put it in this video. Here you go. but I do think it is essentially connected to the song he sings right after. You know, some people get a kick out of stomping on a dream. I think he just got a kick out of it. Another ironic point and likely statement the movie is trying to make is in the way this scene exactly mirrors the previous one with his social worker. The positioning of the characters are the same, and the social workers are both black females. When Arthur truly needed mental health help, funds were cut. Now that the damage is done and lives are lost, suddenly there's funds to speak with a mental health worker. The irony is all too real.
I've been up and down and over and out.
The Joker's final dance. Bonus points for that magnificent performance. And that's Joker. And there's really only one thing left I have to say about this movie. I think Joker is a beautiful piece of cinema. Subtracting 5 Fs from 151 As, we get a final map cinema score of 146. Please keep in mind, we're not giving random points out. There's actually a system. And don't forget, this scale goes from negative to positive. So, for example, negative 200 to positive 200. And we're not stopping here. There's a lot more movie flaws and awes coming up next. It's a bit of a shift in content, but these are kind of like passion project videos for me. So thank you very much so far for the support. I'll see you soon with a new video.